Kramer registered there? Yes, could you connect me, please? The airport. She's leaving Aruba? Oh, meeting someone. I don't suppose you heard who she... Oh. Oh, no. Could you have her call Joey Buchanan as soon as she can at Rody's? Rody's. R-O-D-D. No. D as in don't worry how to spell it. Just tell her Rody's, and as soon as she can, she knows the number. Thanks.
Hey, Joe. True to see you. I didn't know you were back from Aruba.
Actually, right now, I'm kind of wishing I wasn't. Just found out that Dorian is down there.
What, this is a problem?
No, this is a catastrophe. Right now, she's got Kelly all to herself. Believe me, she's going to find every reason in the world to be all over that photo shoot for Malator, too.
So big deal. So Dorian's a chaperone.
Yeah, like Delilah is a barber. She's trying to split us up.
How could she do that?
Well, I used to think that she couldn't, but lately she has had a lot of help.
From whom?
From me. I did some stupid things that kind of, sort of, actually did lead Kelly into believing that there was somebody else in my life.
Is there?
No! No, and the second Kelly walked out on me, I realized there never could be. And I had a hell of a time convincing Kelly of that. But now with Dorian down there adding heat, my friend, my goose is cooked.
Too hard. I mean, even Cal Ripken takes a break every now and then.
Yeah, well, Cal Ripken doesn't have as much at stake as I do.
What?
It's just my life.
It's time. Guy's gonna pick us up in about 2 minutes. So what do you say? Shorty. Time to hit the road.
Patrick, I came as soon as I got your note. Well, I guess that you changed your mind about where you wanted this relationship to go, huh? Patrick? Are you asleep? Well, I guess I'll just have to have a little surprise for you. You wake up. Actions speak louder than words.
Patrick, he seemed fine when I saw him earlier. I don't understand why he had to go upstairs and lie down. He's not sick, is he?
Oh, no, it's nothing like that. He is, as the cowboys say, just plumb tuckered out, seems like.
Well, I hope that's all it is. He was right in the middle of that fire in Angel Square, and he was so concerned about getting the scenery out for the play that I don't think he paid much attention to his own safety. Maybe I should go check on him.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were asleep by now.
No, I'll be quiet. It's room number 3, you said?
Very well. The same one you occupied together in his crate.
Hey, I don't want you to stop. I'm just glad you're getting your strength back.
I'm not getting my strength back, I'm getting my legs back.
Oh, well, that would be, well, wonderful. Did the doctor say anything about any new developments?
Well, they didn't say it was impossible, so I take that as a good sign.
Are you seeing any improvement?
Nope. None whatsoever. And I might not today, and I might not the next day, or not even next week. But I tell you what, as soon as I do see it, I'll be ready for it. You know what the first thing I'm going to do is? I'm going to take that wheelchair, and I'm going to throw it in Lantano River. And then I'm going to stand there and watch it while it sinks. And then I'm going to turn around, I'm going to march to the mill house, I'm going to pick Marty up, I'm going to carry her upstairs.
Dylan, you know how much I want to see you and Marty back together. I mean, more than anything. But she told me how you found Patrick's notebook. So I know you must know that they had this thing that probably isn't...
Andy, listen. Marty's name is Marty Saybrook Moody. I know we don't have the best marriage. I know we've got some challenges that we need to work through. But I mean, as soon as I get my legs back and I'm standing and I'm the man that she married again, then I'll take care of those challenges. But until that point in time, hey, I mean, it's just like we said when we got married. For richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, until death do us part. And then maybe that, it'll go further than that, too.
Dylan, but is that how Marty feels?
Well, well. Sleeping Beauty. Princess Charming is here. Time for your wake-up kiss.
Flowers for Mrs. Manning?
Oh, how beautiful, aren't they? And there's so many of them. Oh, here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Well, Miss Manning certainly will have a nice surprise waiting for her when she comes home. We'll just put these in a nice big vase.
have to talk to Kelly. I could take a flight out tonight. No, even if I took a flight out tonight, I still wouldn't make it to Aruba before tomorrow morning, by which time Dorian will have Kelly poking pins into a little doll named Joey. And, knowing Dorian, she'll have brought the pins with her.
Joey, Kelly loves you. Everyone knows that. How can Dorian turn Kelly against you?
Dorian can play Kelly like a kazoo. Kelly's got more insecurities than a speech therapist with laryngitis, and Dorian knows it. I mean, Kelly worries about the way she walks, the way she talks, the way she looks.
Well, the last thing she's got to worry about is how she looks.
Yeah, but try telling her that. I mean, I look at Kelly, the world sees Kelly, and we see gorgeous, and there's Kelly sitting there worried that her feet are too big.
Kelly's got big feet?
No! Kelly's feet are perfect. Kelly's got perfect everything. But try telling her that. And failing everything else, Dorian will play the family card. Growing up, Kelly had, well, basically nobody. And now, having Cassie and having Blair and having Dorian, she's had more family than she's ever had. And Dorian knows it. Right now, she's probably beating Kelly over the head with dynasties and family empire and how those Kramer women have to stick together against these big, bad Buchanan boys.
Oh, yeah, Joe. That's us. We're big and we're bad and we're mean, man.
I could take Ace's jet again. No, I can't even do that.
Why not?
Because he slammed you, play, William Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream.
Not anymore, there's none.
How do you figure that?
You really are fresh from the airport, aren't you? There was a fire in Angel Square.
Whoa. Yeah. No, really? How big? Does anybody get hurt?
Well, Christian Vega got a little hurt, but nobody else. The sets are toast, man. Burnt toast.
Man, how did it start?
Well, nobody's been charged, but they are talking arson. Here, Kevin's got his own theory.
Kevin always has a theory. What is it this time?
Carlo Hesser.
Yeah? Yeah. You know what? I was there when Carlo Hesser came and tried to buy up all the paying seats. Patrick just brushed him off like a bug.
Maybe that wasn't so smart.
Who cares? He was right. Every good thing that Patrick was doing in Angel Square wouldn't have meant a damn if everybody knew the crook that Carlo Hesser was paying for it. Yeah, he looked pretty angry. Angry enough to kill. Maybe he still is.
Listen, I can't read Marty's mind, but I know that right now she's happier probably than she's ever been. Now, whatever that is, it's a good thing. I mean, come on, you talk to her. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I guess she does say that she feels more calm. And she thinks that something good will probably come out of all of it.
Well, there you go. That's the way I feel.
God, I wish I could feel that way.
What about Antonio?
Yeah, Antonio. I just can't go back to him, not as long as he keeps working for Hesser.
Yeah, Max told me that you guys split up because of that, but, sorry to hear that. So you don't think there's any going back at all?
No. And no going forward either, you know. I mean, I'm miserable when I don't run into him. I'm frightened when I do. I want to talk to him, but I have nothing to say. I just can't believe anything good is going to come out of any of it.
Listen, I know you love Antonio. But maybe it's all for the best, you leaving him, him working with Hesser and all.
Well, if Hesser goes down, if Antonio's anywhere near him, he's going to go down with him.
Must have been a hard thing to do, you walking out on him like that. It took guts.
I took everything I have. Patrick. 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 Oh, Patrick.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing here?
First time I was down there, I promised Kelly I would do anything, and I meant absolutely anything, to prove to her how much I loved her.
So what, now you gotta climb Mount Everest or something?
Worse. I win. I said that I would dream up a really, really, really special day for her the first thing when she got back.
Why don't you do something simple but sincere, like a really special dinner party?
I know you're trying to help, but I mean...
No, I mean it. Rachel threw a dinner party for the whole family at Club Indigo. I mean, to thank everybody for, sticking by her when times were at their worst. Nothing incredibly expensive, just good and warm and down to earth, like she is. It was great. She's great. She's always great. That odd hair, cheekbones, that thing in her eyes. And I tell you, people who think that she's weak because she got in the drugs, they have no idea what they're talking about. Pulling herself up from rock bottom like that, can you imagine what type of strength that must have taken? I mean, she's strong and tough, but not hard-edged, because she's really sensitive, too. She notices everything. When I'm with her, she sees things that would just pass me by if I was by myself. We took a walk in the park after the party, and she was thanking me for helping her and just being there when she needed somebody.
Thank you for being there.
You gotta stop that, okay?
Stop what?
Thanking me for being where I want to be anyway. I'm here because here's where I want to be.
Wow. Where did all that come from?
What?
I swear to God, you haven't strung that many sentences together since you moved to Landview.
Come on.
No, I'm serious. I'm going to call Mr. Guinness and get you in the Guinness book. Okay, now, catch me up to speed here. What exactly is going on between you and Rachel?
I'm so glad that you were there when I called. Yeah, one of the attendants found me out by the hot tub and gave me your message. Glad that he didn't say who it was from. Why? Dylan was with me. Well, so, what's the matter? What happened?
About the Wild Swan.
That Irish pub in Inishcraig? What, you had another dream about it?
No, no dream. No dream. It's real. I've been back there.
What are you talking about?
All right, I'm not kidding here. Mr. Knill, the owner, okay, he left Ireland after Todd was killed. He was afraid that he was going to be next. And because he had family near Philadelphia, he came here. Yeah, he rebuilt the old Wild Swan, just a few miles outside of Landview. And it's got everything the old one did, including Patrick. So, there we were, the two of us, surrounded by all the magic of the place where we fell in love. We had to face it. We never stopped loving each other. We never would.
You didn't...
No, we knew it wasn't the right time. We knew we had time. He told me he was going to wait for me. And, when Dylan is stronger, when Dylan can... Well, when he's all right without my help.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. I mean, now, does Dylan know about any of this?
I tried to tell him, but he wouldn't let me. And now something's happened that I really don't understand.
What?
When I called you, I was just down the street at a payphone, just down the street from the Wild Swan. Because I just walked in on Patrick in bed with Blair Manning.
Oh my God. Are you sure that it was him?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's incredible. I mean, you know Patrick better than anybody else. I mean, do you really believe that he would do something like that?
No. No, I don't.
Well, I guess people are right. Money can't buy you everything. Didn't buy you a sense of decency, did it?
Me?
Yeah, oh God, I blame myself. I really thought when you said that you were through with all your scheming, your plotting, you meant it. I was wrong.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
Wait,
Said we're just going to be friends, right?
Oh, you're blaming me?
No. I'm blaming all the little fairies from A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, well, come on, Patrick, you're the one that invited me
I didn't
over.
invite you here.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You're the one that sent me that note.
What note?
What note? What note? I'll show you what note I'm talking about. This note right here. Just look at it. This note.
I didn't send you this note. Why would I ask you to come over here? No, I did not.
You didn't? Well, I got the note, all right? I came over here and I saw the candles and you in bed with... You didn't send me this note.
No.
Well, then who did?
Home sweet home?
Get you set up, huh? Just sit here for a second. And don't go away, right? It's not gonna work, is it? Tell you what. Just right down here, right? I just got some things to do. I mean, you know how it is. When you're planning a big trip, all those nasty little details. Just one other thing to do, then. All right? And we can say goodbye in a beautiful downtown Grandview. All the beautiful people in it. Forever. Nothing's going on between me and Rachel. We're just, you know.
Oh, yeah, of course, you're friends.
Well, sure, we're good friends. I like being with her. She likes being with me.
Sounds like a serious case of the friends to me.
What's so bad about that?
I'm not saying anything's bad about it. I'm just saying, what's so bad about having something better?
Nothing. It just doesn't apply to us.
You just... Okay, now, am I just saying this? Are you afraid of getting a little, you know, too involved with Rachel? It's not because she's black, is it?
Come on, man, what kind of crap is that?
Well, it's an honest question. If I don't ask, I won't know. I'm just asking.
Well, I gave you the answer, didn't I?
Well, there you go. So you like her, right? Yeah. So what's holding you back?
Excuse me, Joey, you got a phone call. A Miss Kelly Kramer from Aruba.
Hey, right. Could you order me another beer? I think I might need it.
2 of those beers.
You're right. I do know Patrick. So there has to be another explanation, especially after everything we just said to one another. I mean, it can't be possible.
Oh, Marty, in my job, every day I see people doing things that nobody ever thought that they could, not even themselves. And you were even there yourself.
I know. But there's something really weird about all this. I was at the Wild Swan with Patrick. I got paged to go to the hospital. I get to the hospital, and they never paged me. So I go back to the Wild Swan, and now Mr. Keneally tells me that Patrick was asleep. He went upstairs. And that's when I go up and find Patrick with Blair. I mean, does that sound to you like someone who's planning a secret rendezvous?
No, that sounds like a setup.
Blair.
Think it was her?
Oh, please. I wouldn't put it past her. She's trying to get her claws into him in the middle of a fire, no less.
Well, why don't you just go in there and just rip her off the top of him?
I was caught off guard. I mean, you know, I was upset. I should have, but I ran out the door and... Well, anyway, Patrick and I have kind of agreed not to talk about our relationship to anyone. I guess I still felt that promise.
Well, there's got to be somebody who knows the truth. I mean, what, this Mr. Keneally, I mean, he must know everybody in the place. Have you talked with him?
No, I ran out the door and called you. I could call him now. I mean, maybe Patrick's still there. Maybe I could find out what's going on.
I'd do that before I do anything else. Okay. I'll be right back. Wait a second. I gotta ask you something first.
Okay, what?
Well, Dylan doesn't really know about any of this, right? I mean, he doesn't know that if he does walk again, that you're planning on leaving him. Does he?
The last thing I remember was Keneally. And he did give me something to drink, but it was Irish tea, nothing else. And then, God, I don't even remember going up the stairs, or coming in here, or getting undressed, or going to bed. Must have been drunk. The drink must have...
Well, you don't think that Mr. Keneally...
No. But if this is part of a plan, then whoever did this knows who you are.
God, somebody's playing a game with us. But who, Patrick?
Well, I could tell you who, but you're not gonna
Oh,
believe
come on. Not with Carlo Hester again. I mean, why would he go to the trouble to get the two of us together?
That's right. That's right, he wouldn't. So it must be part of a different scheme to bring us here together with our guards down. God.
Think somebody's in the room?
What? No.
This is so weird. Oh, my God, Patrick.
What?
The window. I closed it. It was closed because I deliberately closed it before I got into bed with you.
There's nobody there. I don't think...
Check that.
There's nobody there. That doesn't mean that one of Carlo's men isn't on his way, so let's just grab your purse, let's go. Come on.
Look, I have been such an idiot, such a fool. I mean, you tried to warn me for months that he was responsible for Todd's death, but what did I do? I let Carlo become my friend. I let him into my home, Todd's home. He sat in Todd's chair.
You fooled a lot of people, Blair.
But I should have believed you, Patrick. God, what is he up to? I mean, he drugs you. He gets me to come here and meet you. I don't...
Wait a minute, that's it.
What?
That's it, God. We've been like two fools in the fog, Blair. Carlo was playing a game with us. He's still playing a game with us. We were never the real target. The target is someone else. It's somewhere else. Someone that's connected to both of us.
Oh, my God. Star! Oh, my God.
I know it's not exactly what you're used to. So you gotta understand it. My sister, your aunt, Vicky, you know, she's been rich for so long that her idea of getting away from it all is to come up here and dress up like a lumberjack. But I promise you, as soon as we stop running, I'll put you up in style. It's something I need for you to do, all right? And it's something that your dad don't do a whole lot. But I need for you to smile. Think you can do that? Give your daddy a big smile.
Callie, I miss you like crazy. Of course I do. How's Dorian? Yeah? She, say anything about us? She did? She did? She did? Well, what did you say? You did? You did? To her face, you did? Oh, yes. Oh, Kelly, that's the way to tell this to your aunt. Oh, I miss you more than ever now. Yeah, no, I'm working on the special thing that I promised. No, I can't tell you what it is. It would ruin the surprise. Yeah, I bet it gets lonely down there. Well, you know what I used to do when I was a kid and I was away from my folks and my friends? I'd look up at the stars and I'd think to myself how they were the same stars that my folks and my friends were looking at back home. Why don't you do that tonight? You can go out and you can look at the stars and I'll do that too, and that way we can be together. At least till you come home. I love you too. I love you most. Good night.
You don't look too bad. How'd it go?
So far, so good, but I got a feeling if I don't come up with that special something, just gonna give Dorian more ammunition to gun me down with later.
Well, how's she sound?
All right. Sounds lonely.
Well, that's a perfect sign.
Yeah. I told her to go out and look at the stars. That way it'd remind her of home.
Well, actually, Aruba's pretty far south, so the stars wouldn't exactly be the same.
Hey, Galileo, I got the girl, okay?
Oh.
Anyways, my point with the stars is just that they were very beautiful, and they're different from anything else. They're unique. They're unlike anything.
Joe, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. As a matter of fact, suddenly I am very okay.
Dylan was at that hot tub for hours. You know, he probably still is. Doing his exercises, working on his legs. I mean, you guys, you both want to walk again. I mean, his idea of getting all better means saving the marriage, not ending it.
I know. He told me pretty much the same thing. Broke my heart.
Still haven't told him.
It was one of the things that I tried to tell him, and he wouldn't let me. I mean, Dylan is on this track of positive thinking. He won't even let me start to say something negative, and I don't want to discourage him. I mean, if there is a chance that he could recover.
Is there?
Well, we know that the bone chip is lodged against his spinal column. If the bone chip moves, well, the paralysis could ease, could even reverse itself.
Oh, he's hoping for that. He is hoping for that so hard.
I know, and I do not want to get in the way of any of that hope. But I have to tell him. I'm going to wait till he's stronger, but I have to tell him. I know it's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt both of us. But I'm going to do it. Andy, I've never betrayed Dylan. Really, when Patrick and I met in Ireland, Dylan and I weren't together. And I've been faithful to him in our marriage, and I will continue to be faithful to him for as long as it lasts. But I've done him a big disfavor. I really have. I married him when I was in love with Patrick. You know, I thought that time might take something wrong and make it right. Maybe if Patrick had gone back to Ireland, you know, could have learned to live with that lie. Because God knows I tried. But when Patrick and I both ended up at the Wild Swan that night, I just knew that the lying had to stop. You know how your heart tells you what it needs, and you can try not to listen, but you can't pretend that you didn't hear. I don't know. Is any of this making sense?
Yeah, maybe a little too much.
Go call the Wild Swan and what? Just get to the bottom of all this. Baby.
Where is she? Oh, Miss Meredith.
Where is Star?
Well, she's upstairs. I mean, is she sleeping, you know, sleeping away like there isn't any trouble in the world.
God. Thank God.
I'm glad I was wrong. Sorry I frightened you, Blair.
Right, look, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go and check on my little girl. Thanks, Patrick. You don't have to stay.
Right.
There you go. You know, I think you're going to be the first person in history to have a decent passport picture. I bet you're wondering where we're going. Yeah, I can see. Haven't really figured it out yet. Hey, you know, I guess I got to teach you life lessons, right? We're planning our future here. So we got to be real careful. You can't leave anything to chance. Siberia. Oh, the winter sports are good, right? Lots of vodka. Lots of borscht. The beaches suck. See if we can't get you closer to the equator, all right? I haven't lost my touch. You're late. Where the hell have you been?
Sorry, something went wrong.
Really? What went wrong?
Just when your wife was gonna hop in bed with that Irishman, that Mrs. Moody woman showed up.
Marty. Well, there's a wrong place to be at the wrong time. You can leave it to Marty.
Well, what are we gonna do now? She was never supposed to be part of this. Maybe we should let her know the whole thing was just a setup.
What would you do with $100 grand?
I would buy...
Just a twitch. Damn it. You'll move when I say move.
I went upstairs a while ago to check on him, but he had gone. I thought perhaps you two had left together.
No. Did you, happen to see anybody else go up to Patrick's room?
No, I couldn't say really, but then I was down in the cellar quite a bit, and that's, I think, why I thought I missed saying goodbye to the pair of you.
Right. Mr. Keneally, could you do me a small favor?
Small favor, large favor. Miss, I'm at your service.
Thanks. If Patrick should come back there, could you tell him to call the hospital, please?
Of course I will.
Thank you. I'd really appreciate it. All right, good night. He's not there. I don't know where he could have gone.
Well, maybe if he wasn't feeling well, he just went home.
Maybe.
There's only one way to find out.
Well, good night, Mrs. Chinquamani.
Yes.
Glad it all worked out.
Yes.
No, we don't need to tell her it's a setup. Let Marty think that her Irish boyfriend is kissing somebody else's Blarney Stone. You're doing her a favor.
She a friend of yours?
No, Marty's not a friend of mine. I forget her. Forget everybody. Look, you got to get the passports, right? You know how to do that.
Yeah. So where you and the baby going?
Well, I'm going to go put a planet between my daughter and the sweet, ever-faithful Mama Blair. Going to someplace called Ballard.